What's up, everyone? Metal Dave here, along with my co-host Jason McMaster, bringing you another episode of the Talk Louder podcast. Today, things are getting brutal around here. We have Max Cavalera with us on the podcast today. Max is currently promoting a band called Go Ahead and Die. It's a band he has with his son, Igor, not to be confused with his brother, Igor. He has a son named Igor who is a major part of this band. In fact, Max considers himself to be his son's sidekick in this band. Of course, you know Max from his days in Sepultura, Soulfly, Cavalera Conspiracy, Nail Bomb. He's been around for a long, long time. He's a major influence on heavy metal, speed metal, thrash metal, whatever you want to call it. And we had him on the show today, and he was great. He's out there rolling down the highway in his little tour bus. He's with his family, and you can just tell he's having a blast being out on the road, making music with his tribe, as he calls it. And he feels like Go Ahead and Die has sort of reinvigorated his love for heavy metal, and that's great, man. It's so good to hear that. He was in a great mood.
Yeah, it was really great. He was shining today.
Yes. Yes, he was.
He was shining. You know what I mean? And I feel like sometimes we get these moments, even just talking to people like him, whether we're talking to people like him or not. Sometimes it's just you and me, Dave, and we get those excitable moments. We talk about the goosebump moments.
Yes.
In this. I don't want to give it away, but when we talked to Max today, he talks about some people might call it the X factor, or just that special thing that happens when your band, when they least expect it, everything goes right in this one place. There's probably other metaphoric phrases in many different fields that talk about that, but we get to hear Max talk about that and how rare it is, but when it does happen, it just makes him extremely happy and knows that he chose the right path. He is so great and charming. I don't know if he realizes the full scope of how amazing his career has been, and how full circle and how many lives he's touched, until he really steps out there and sees the look on people's faces. And then when he talks to them before and after the shows, I feel like what he told us today is also inspiring and reaffirms what just music, metal, sure, but just music can be a tangible, can have emotional value to where it's something that is tangible. Because it changes lives, it saves lives, and it's people like Max that are out there doing it all that never take a break from it.
Oh yeah.
That
Dude,
are keeping.
He's in the middle of a 3-month tour, and I looked at his schedule, and it is insane. I mean, it's like a gig every night for 3 months. There's an odd day off here and there, but he is grinding it. Yeah. And he mentions in the interview, he's 54 years old, and he's out there grinding. And with this current band, Go Ahead and Die, they're playing smaller clubs and like the punk rock dives and the heavy metal bars and all that sort of thing. And he's loving it. I mean, there's kids, trampling his guitar pedals and whatnot because there's no barricade. I mean, tiny, tiny places. And he's loving every minute of it. And that enthusiasm comes across when we talk to him today. And I think it's remarkable that someone who has the legacy he has and has put in the miles and the years and the time that he has can still get so excited about playing some dive where some kids are trampling your pedals and stepping on your toes. That means you're in it for the right reasons.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And to live that and be living that and happy about it is great. I think that his family has cut out a place in time. Created a complete legacy with the Cavalera name. especially Max, being that he has been a focal point and the voice of a certain generation that I believe that all of us have been a part of since the Sepultura days. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you're not watching this show right now. You're not listening to what I'm saying. You don't know my name. You don't get it.
Right.
Max Cavalera on the Talk Louder podcast.
Thanks for joining us, man. You look like you're in transit. Are you still on tour?
I am on tour. Yep. I was just saying, I'm in the back of a tour bus with a view here, some road, some tracks.
I bet you've seen a lot of that the past 3 months.
Oh yeah.
I was looking at your itinerary, and your schedule looks brutal. I mean, it was like 3 months with barely a day off.
Yeah, you have a day off tomorrow. Am I right?
We do.
Yeah.
They don't come very often.
No.
So when they come, we really celebrate them.
Good, I bet.
What do you do on a day off, since you're not used to having a day off? What do you do for fun? Get in trouble?
Yeah, we try to do stuff. I mean, the couple last ones, it was we end up, that was the last one was kind of boring. We end up doing laundry. There was so much laundry. It ended up being a laundry day. But a couple other ones before we went to the movies. We saw a couple movies. We do stuff like another time we went bowling. Just try to do fun stuff with the guys, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to pull the bus over and pull out the base cabinet and set hibachi up on the base cabinet and cook steaks and veggies right there on the base cabinet.
Yeah, that's always fun. Like,
oh my God, it's the best.
People cooking up on the road. I mean, in fact, my wife is on the road with us, Gloria, and she actually went to Walmart and bought all these cooking things that I had no idea you could do on a bus. I'm like, whoa, you can actually, you're gonna cook all that in the bus? Like, yeah. So she whips up great stuff, man, because there's just so much pizza you can eat.
Yeah.
After you just like, I'm done with pizza. I cannot eat another pizza.
Yeah. How many? Let's do this, because I think I know the answer to this one from experience. But how many pizzas a week? Let's say you play 6 days out of a 7-day week. How many days of those do you get an after show pizza?
Almost every night, man. That's like the after.
That's
show.
what I thought.
But we try to tell our TM, our tour manager, say, please, what about some burritos tonight? Maybe, let's have something different. You know, if they have kebab, let's have some kebabs or shawarma. It works better in Europe, believe it or not. In Europe, it's actually really cool because depending on what country you are, you can eat regionally, you know, so you can get shawarma in Holland, you can get Wiener Schnitzel in Germany, you get fish and chips in England.
Yeah.
you go by the country, man, and you experience the local food, you know.
All of that sounds delicious, and now I'm fucking starving.
I know, right?
Love your shirt, Max. You are true and true metal. You are a legend. I heard about you when I was very young. You guys were Sepultura was a new band. The other guys in my band at the time, Watchtower, were not really into what Sepultura was about, but I understood, and all of my friends understood. So it's just amazing that what you created, and to be from Brazil and to be probably an outcast at the time and a trendsetter actually for and an influence for Brazilian metal, South American metal, and beyond. American metal. Holy
Worldwide.
shit! Yeah, it's global. Global. That's enough, fluffer for you. But for you to now have this thing with your son is just fucking beautiful. And it's great.
Appreciate all those words are great. And fuck, I remember Watchtower, man. Fucking didn't Chuck from that wear you guys shirt
all the time?
All the time, right?
All the time. Yeah,
man.
Yeah, Gene Hoglan and Chuck Schuldiner and later on Mike Portnoy.
Right on, man. That's sick. That's cool.
We're all really championing that band throughout the early as they could, as soon as they found out about us, and some of them still are. And
Chuck was cool, man. We used to hand paint. My brother would hand paint the Sepultura shirt. But we were so broke, we didn't have money for silk screen. We're like, silk screen, that's for rich bands. We're poor. You're gonna paint that by hand, brother. So Igor would hand paint each individual T-shirt.
Yeah,
and we send it out, and they become a little bit bulletproof. You probably can get a shot on it, and nothing happens to you.
Because the paint was thick. Yeah,
it was thick paint. But Chuck ended up getting one of our shirts. He wore it a bunch of times.
Yeah.
As well, like the early Sepultura stuff.
That's DIY. That's DIY. Guys. You're there with all of the DIY. I mean, I think that a lot of the early metal bands sort of got that from the early punk bands.
Yeah.
That's where fanzines come from. I think it's exactly where tape trading sort of started, was the underground punk scene. And the DIY and, burning your own demo tapes and selling them for $1 or sending them to the fanzine, that's a lifestyle. And you didn't have any money. So you were like, recording over Madonna tapes and shit to send people your songs.
All that, man. One of my favorite stories is, I don't know if you guys heard that one, but is the Bullet Belt, because we wanted to look like the European bands, they had the bullet belts, but we couldn't buy bullet belts in Brazil. You can't. It's only for the military. So my brother came with the idea to use AA batteries. So we gather all these, 200 AA batteries.
Wow.
And we spray paint them in silver, and we use some kind of clay that made with the black. And told the photographer, take the picture from far away in black and white, so they don't look fake.
Wow,
that is awesome.
What's cool? It did the trick. We look cool.
Yeah.
We look awesome.
Wow.
Like official. And that's as DIY as it gets.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
that's DIY for sure. I think that shows some dedication and
just a little
ingenuity.
Imagination to sort of like make sure you're steering people's minds into the right direction of what you want them, when they see the photograph in their mind, what you sound like.
Yeah,
I get
all
it.
of that, man.
Yeah.
I'm an old school kind of guy mentally, and that's one of the reasons why I started Go Ahead and Die. It's like I wanted to get back at that underground pool and jump right back in there where all the trouble is.
Yeah,
let's revive. Let's go back to the danger. It was becoming really safe. The big stages in Europe and the big shows. I was like, nah, I want to go back to the trouble. Let's get back on that danger element. Like you kind of like almost like scared every night you go on the stage, but it's so fun. I'm having a time of my life on this tour with my kid, playing with my son.
That's very special.
I think Iggy Pop said that when you do what you love, surrounded by the people that you love, doesn't get any better,
You're very correct about that. I think that there's also I wouldn't say a new crop of the style that that you're doing with Go Ahead and Die. I think that just old school, you know, parts of it are thrash and parts of it are just kind of hardcore. Parts of it are, they sound very, it sounds very crossover to me. And I think that there's other band, like Dave's wearing a shirt, Fugitive, which is the Power Trip kind of the guys.
Blake I like them. I like them.
Yeah, Blake and them, and they're doing something similar to that. And I think that there's a movement that's not necessarily new. What I like about it is it's obvious. It's an old school attitude, but you're creating something fresh.
Yeah. And it's so cool to see that, especially on this tour. To me, it's mind blowing because I'm looking at a third generation of fans, because you got all the old farts like me in the back with the Sepultura shirts and Soulfly shirts, and then you have their kids also are becoming Max fans. But now you have these young pups, all these young kids are coming to see my son's band. Go Ahead and Die is Igor's band. I'm just like like a sidekick type thing, but it's so cool to watch that play right in front of my eyes. You're right about the Fugitive, the Body Box, the band we're on tour with. They also bring all these new guys, new kids, part of this movement, underground movement that's going on in the world of metal. That is really cool, man, to see that still alive. That's that power, that flame still going, That's great. That is because that's the spirit of metal in his essence. And it's cool. You meet all these kids and they got their battle vests with all these patches, and they have, old patches, newer bands. It's mixed now. It's all mixed.
Yeah.
They love Arise and they love Body Box, and they love Fugitive.
Right.
Yeah. And it's all mixed up now, which is great. That's the way it should be. Go Ahead and Die. We made a decision to mix more hardcore punk metal. That's like the three ingredients that we put it on most of the tracks.
Yeah.
Except maybe Drugger Cop was more like rockabilly. I was really into Drugger Cop because I was like, let's do this rockabilly kind of riff that's not really metal. It's like surf music. And we play it every night, man. And I don't know if you guys seen the video, but the Drugger Cop video, I'm a sheriff in it, So
donuts. You're eating the donuts.
Right. That's right. And then during the show, I come with a hat and the sheriff shirt, and people love that. They're like, "Yeah, man, Sheriff Buzzkill is here," Yeah, even got his own name.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, and then we're doing cool things also with the live show. Like apart from playing the whole record, the whole second record, Unhealthy Mechanism, we also did a new version of Ministry's New World Order with the Body Box guys.
Oh, cool. Nice.
So what we did, we took all the industrial out of it, and we made Ministry go back to a punk band. So it's like Ministry. If you strip down all the electronic shit, in its essence, Ministry is pretty much a metal punk band.
I agree 100%.
So I mean, those riffs are great. Those vocals are great, and the way we're doing them, we're putting them back into their original state. I think that's how Al formed them in their mind, kind of as a punk metal song. And then he put all the industrial shit on top of it.
Yeah.
We strip it all down and put it back to the punk metal version of it. It's really in your face, and it's cool because the crowd knows it. It was a big song. I remember I was touring with them during that album.
Cool.
It was Sepultura, Ministry, and Helmet, and that was it's really cool to be doing that now, all these years later, and see a whole new generation of people enjoying it too. You know, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. You mentioned Unhealthy Mechanisms is the album that you're promoting. And I kind of got a sense of what it sounded like without even hearing it, just based on the song titles. Because you got Tumors, you got Truckload Full of Dead Bodies, you got Worth Less Than Piss.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's
no ballads on this record.
It's all piss and vinegar, man. You know, it's all like a lot of attitude. But the thing about Go Ahead and Die, I love it. Like, a lot of it was created with first instinct. I in the studio, I was like, I'm not doing two vocals. I'm doing one vocal track.
Yeah.
We either get it on the first time or we don't get it.
Yeah.
You know, it was that kind of mentality, like urgent. So there's a little bit of a urgent, almost like deranged feel to the record.
Yeah.
So we went all to the first instinct, first track, raw, brutal. But yeah, the songs, majority of the lyrics are my son Igor. He created the whole subject. He's great with ideas like that. He writes novels, actually, like Stephen King kind of novels.
Wow.
But he came with the subject of mental health. I thought that was really cool, really creative, and it's a taboo kind of subject. Many people are even scared to touch it. Like, we should talk about it, man. We should talk about it because it's serious. Affects everybody. You know, it's all of us have a little bit of the voice in our head and what to do with that. You know, and so a lot of the tracks on this album were based on that, and then some of the other stuff was more like fun stuff. Like Druggle Cop was more like a Dead Kennedy's kind of take on it.
I really like that, by the way. The Druggle Cop is fucking great.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah.
I think that your character, the sheriff, needs to make a reappearance maybe down the line somewhere.
Maybe he gets his own YouTube channel or something.
Yeah.
Let's not go that far.
Right. You could interview fans after the show dressed up as
That's a good idea.
And you could make a compilation and just use some of it in some future videos.
Yeah. No, it's a lot of fun, man. You know, we're having a blast doing the shows. Like last night was we play it was our first California show, was Reading. And we show up and the venue is real small. And I was like, I'm gonna love this show. I know already. The minute, like, the roadies are hating life, and I'm loving it. I'm like, yes, this is exactly how I picture the shows to be like. You know, it's gonna be crazy here tonight, and it was insane. There was like no barricade. People are tripping on my pedals, but very respectful too. You know, so. The cool thing, you get to see also the human side of the fan. They're not assholes, man. They're good. They're good people. They want to have a good time. They're trying hard to protect my pedals, but some of them keep falling on it, and I was like, it's all good, man. I don't even care if he breaks it. Let's keep rolling.
You have to realize that's a good problem to have. What if there wasn't anybody up there fucking shit? What if it was like empty? It's great that there's the energy, and you can just see the waves of energy coming off of people. Of course, your feet are going to get stepped on, so to speak, right? You want that. That's great.
It's so fun. It's so fun.
It's the best.
And it's a great feeling that, like I said, I was itching for something different to do in my career. Like, so Go Ahead and Die kind of came in a perfect time. We made the first record during the pandemic, but I think the second one, Unhealthy Mechanism, it's much more, I guess mature is the right word, even though it was created in real crazy ways of like recording, like the raw stuff and the first instincts, all that stuff went like on a real live. I remember doing the demos. We used a drum machine, and you can go 220 BPM on a drum machine with a finger. And I'm telling the drummer, you got to go as fast as that drum machine, man. And
Right.
he's like sweating. He's like, no, I can't. That's not possible. And it's like, no, you're going to do it, man. And we put him to the grinder. We put the drummer Johnny into the grinder, and came out great, man. Came out super cool. It's cool to see that you have that kind of, purpose. You're doing something with a purpose. It's a lot of fun.
You mentioned earlier that that you view Go Ahead and Die as more of your son's band, and you called yourself his sidekick. And I know that he played bass on the album. He produced the album. Out on the road, I think he's playing guitar. You mentioned he writes a lot of the lyrics. Was there ever a time in the recording of the album where you came to him with an idea and he was like, "Nah, Dad, that's not going to work"?
Oh yeah, especially lyrics, because I don't like writing lyrics. I never liked it. I feel like it's like homework. Some of it is I drag like, I love riffs, man. I can sit with my guitar and write riffs all night long. When it comes to writing lyrics, it's like, and a lot of times I'll write a lyric and he'll be like, "Nah, we're not using that." No, immediately shut down. Like,
wow.
And I was like, "Really? Come on, man! This line is pretty good." And I'll be even like, "Hey, I wrote a couple of memorable things in the past, right?"
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
does he?
But the cool thing about that he's not a yes man, and that changes the dynamic. You know?
Yeah.
When you make a record with a bunch of yes men, I don't know. It feels like whatever you do it, they're gonna say yes, even if they don't like it, because they're scared to tell you this sucks.
Yeah.
Right.
When you're doing this way, I think it feels a little bit more. More honest, almost even like he's really trying to get the best out of me and him, and it was cool on this tour also because I position myself on the side of the stage, so I'm on the right side, and he's in the center. And I said, "Now you're gonna talk to the crowd. You're doing actually what I've been doing for 30 years. You're gonna do it now, and I'm gonna be on the side."
I noticed that.
Enjoying it.
I noticed that in some of the live videos, and I was impressed that you're kind of making him do some heavy lifting.
Heavy lifting for sure.
Yeah, and you are kind of, you have decided your place in Go Ahead and Die. You're not going to like, hey, move out of the way, kid. Let me show you how to do. That's not even in your vocabulary on this. You are trying to add the heavy to what that's already heavy, and I think that it's great. It's a great combo, man.
Does he play? He plays guitar when you play live, right?
Yeah.
But does he also? Does he also play
bass?
Does Igor also play 4-string guitar like you, or does he play 6-string?
No, he's got 6.
He's got 6.
And for whatever reason, Go Ahead and Die is the only band that I also play 6 strings, because I do a lot of dive bombs. I broke I broke my own myth by going into 6 strings with Go Ahead and Die. That's the only band I do that. Everything else is all 4 strings.
Okay.
But it makes sense, though, if you're doing like, whammy dive, like, you need those higher pitches.
And it's so much fun because I'm not a lead guitar player, right? I've never been one. So it's all new to me.
Yeah.
So I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was telling him, like, when I do a dive bomb and they work, it's like you're hitting a jackpot in Las Vegas in the casino. and a lot of times they don't work, and I get super frustrated. But when they work, I'm like, yes. Did you guys hear that shit?
How old is your son, by the way?
If you're not used to, like, playing those strings and actually understanding, the technique of, hitting the string the right way, and then
it's all new to me.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I have a couple pedals that I use that helps me, but it's a lot of fun, man. It's like nice. It's pretty much noise making, but it's You know, people been doing that forever. Like, you know, a lot of the punk bands did that. They didn't have really great virtuosos playing guitar, and they got by, you know, so it's the same mentality.
Yeah. How old is your son, Igor?
Igor's 28.
Do you remember what age, how old was he when you were first impressed by his songwriting ability?
Yeah, real young, man, 13, 12, 13.
Really? Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
The funny thing, I never sat with him and teach him anything. Like, I just like you do that on your own, you know, like a
Yeah.
discovery thing, you know, like
Yeah.
don't try to impose my will on anybody, you know, like let them discover what they like. And funny enough, both of him and Zion, they both played drums for a while. There's a video of Igor playing drums with us in Europe on a festival, playing Troops of Doom with us. And eventually, Zion got better at drums, so he became Soulfly's drummer. And Igor's a very good, very instinctive instrumentalist. He can play bass, guitar, keyboards, like, and writes novels. You know, like a lot of stuff from the mother side of the family tree. You know, but it's really cool, like to through the years, just see the development from when they're real young. Their first band was Mold Breaker, and they'll break the instruments after every show. And I was a nerve wrack watching that every night. It's like, oh, there he goes again. They're gonna break everything. Oh shit. So I kind of forgot that I did that back in the day too. So watching it is different when you're a parent. You know, you get nervous and like, I hope he doesn't. I was the same as when they stage dive. You know, I remember Zion stage diving in Brazil, and I was so nervous he's gonna get hurt, and he was just having a great time, man. You know, it's different when you're a parent watching your kid doing stuff than when you're doing it yourself. You know.
Oh yeah, yeah. Was there ever a time when your boys were growing up? Was there ever a time when you tried to steer them away from the music business because of some of your experiences?
No, not steer them away, but I would kind of like
words of wisdom.
Yeah, a little bit. You know, like it's the main thing I always told them was like, I don't care what you guys do with your life, as long as you do what you love, you're gonna be happy with it. You know, but music's a very tough field. It's tough. You know, I'm still struggling at 54. You know, we're still touring, selling shirts, and still going through the, you know, grinding, you know, as they say.
Yeah.
There's no retirement plan made for us. There's none of this shit, you know. It's a different lifestyle. It's a bit schizophrenic, you know. You go from playing crazy shows, loud, every day is a Friday, and then when the tour is over, you go home and it's quiet and peaceful, like a monastery. So it messes with your mind, you know, a little bit. It's kind of crazy, you know. I was a little bit worried for a minute. They were really into hip hop when they were around 11, 12. And I was like, no, please don't. I hope you guys don't become rappers, man. And I got them into the fold, you know, I got them into the metal, which is great.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Punk has been a huge influence for you, dating all the way back to Sepultura, and obviously now with Go Ahead and Die and some of your other projects. What were some of your favorite punk rock bands growing up?
Ramones, probably one of my favorite of all time. I just love the whole simplicity approach to it. A lot of really cool hardcore stuff, Black Flag, Dead Kennedys.
Yeah.
You know, later on, a lot of the New York hardcore, Cro-Mag, Sick of It All, Agnostic Front, a lot of European stuff, Discharge being one of the main ones.
Yeah.
And then Plasmatics. I always, like the kind of approach. The punk idea is that you didn't have to be Eddie Van Halen to make music.
Right.
Meaning, you didn't have to be born a virtuoso to make something great. You know, a simple song. So it's like, as they say, 3 chords and the truth. You know, mean what you say what you mean, type of approach.
Yeah,
I always love that about punk.
Yeah,
The simplistic and also the energy. And I kind of feel like that's what I do with my music, is that there's a trade-off. So I go more for the side of the energy rather than being total professionally perfect.
Yeah,
Doesn't exist.
yeah.
it doesn't exist.
We're not
I
gonna
was going
play
to
as
say,
Pink.
yeah,
We're not gonna sound like Rush and Pink Floyd. Might as well give it up. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
But there's a trade-off. You know, the energy that we get. I don't think Rush, Pink Floyd ever experienced this kind of energy. You know, I'll take that any day. You know.
Yeah. So you just named a handful of classic punk bands.
Yeah, I was going to say all of the bands he mentioned, it's in our record collections.
Yeah, I think
Classics.
half of them are on the wall back here.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you the opposite question. Has your son turned you on to some of the newer punk rock bands, and has any of that sort of grabbed your attention and maybe subconsciously worked its way? You know, has the younger generation kind of worked its way into Max Cavalera's head subconsciously? Are there any bands that your sons have turned you on to that you're enjoying?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, Igor is a big metal fan, you know, at his essence. He actually very knowledgeable of a lot of stoner rock and doom metal and all that stuff. And he introduced me to a lot of those bands that I, you know, I never knew anything about, like Full of Hell and Noisem. And even different stuff like Soft Kill. You know, we had the Soft Kill guy coming to our show the other night. He's syncing to a different bunch of bands than I am, and that's what makes it cool. He's showing me stuff now, so it's not just me showing him stuff. Because for many years I would be like showing him, like, oh, you have to listen to Discharge, you have to listen to this band, that band. And the funny thing about Ramones specifically, we did a tour in Brazil in during the 90s.
Yeah.
And it was Sepultura and Ramones, and 5 shows. And we were there's actually a picture of Zion with all the 4 Ramones, and he's like screaming. He hated. He didn't want to be there. And Johnny is like holding him, very awkward, like, get this kid out of my hand, you know.
Wow.
But it's such a cool picture, man. You know, the other day I was talking to him about that. It's like, you understand, like, a lot of those guys are gone.
Yeah.
You know, they're not even here anymore. So you've been part of something very, very special. I hope you realize that, you know.
Yeah.
And they do, man. They do. Like, we met a lot of great musicians through the years, the Black Sabbath guys and all the Pantera guys and Metallica and all that, you know.
Nice.
They realize how cool that is, and it's like, I like how they behave towards people, man. You know, which was one of the things that hopefully that me and my wife install into them was treat everybody with respect. Like, don't be a rock and roll rock star asshole.
Yeah.
For no reason, you know, like, be respectful and don't have a big head. And they don't, man, which is great. I love. That's one of the most coolest things that I can see about them, apart from being hardworking. But this is it's touring, it's fun, but it's also hard work, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
Specifically Igor, because he's been diabetic since he was 2. So that's twice as hard on the road. You know, he's got to do all the shots, and control the sugar and all, which is not easy on the road.
Yeah.
And, you know,
yeah.
I could even, a lot of times I even think to myself, like, well, man, that's got to be tough on him. Like, you know, every night doing the shot right before you go play live, you know, and making sure your sugar stays good. But yeah, he does great, and it's for me, it's a dream come true to be able to do what I do with them, with both of the kids, you know, with Zion and Igor, and some of the other ones. So Richie's got Inside, which is a different band, sells T-shirts for us and all that. It's so cool to have a organic, true metal family.
Yeah,
you
man.
know, from the heart.
It's impressive.
It just makes me smile.
Yeah, me too,
you said
man.
that, I just went like this, just because you could tell the joy in his voice, and it's sincere, and that's really cool.
Yeah, it's kind of beautiful, man.
We fight, we bicker, we argue like every other family, you know, but in the end of the day, we're all gearing towards the same goal. And when you feel like that, it's like you almost like that feeling like, yeah, you can take on anything, man, you know, because we got each other's, you know, and I think it's cool, like the whole concept of family tribe kind of evolved, like, so it goes from us to my family to the fans. The fans become an extended part of the family, so we call them our tribe, you know. And I like to think the metal tribe is the biggest tribe in the world, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
you know, you said something. Sorry, Dave. You said something a second ago about how you show pride in the way that your boys handle themselves when they meet other people, and when they meet other people, like some of the people that you mentioned that are influential and, you know, kind of important to what it is that you guys are out on the road doing every night. And you mentioned, you know, Metallica and Pantera and Black Sabbath and Ramones, and you're proud of them because of the way that they handle themselves when they meet these important people. And I feel like you have installed in them, you know, your family, the influence that you have upon your boys and your tribe is that you're always in someone else's house. And you have to remember that you're always in someone else's house. And if you're a hurricane in someone else's house and you start fucking shit up and you piss somebody off, and you know, they know better than they know who it is they're meeting. They know who it is that the influence that these people have had on you and your wife and your tribe. And so I feel like you've installed that, and that just makes a lot of sense to me, that it's like a no-brainer. I would completely guess that they are total gentlemen when they meet someone who's important to you and your family and your tribe. And you're always in someone else's house. If you're an asshole when you're in someone else's house, you don't get invited back. Your reputation is now shit. And I just wanted to point out that that's an important lesson right there, that I feel like that is basically tattooed on your soul. So.
And it might be a small thing, but it turns out it's quite a big thing.
It's
you know,
it's the biggest thing that you could. It's the biggest thing that you could even hope to expect.
Yeah, and it's not just around famous legendary people, but also towards everybody, right?
Yeah,
even the fans. You know, you treat everybody with respect, and everybody with, you know, like one thing it's always cool about this, the exchanging of talking with a lot of fans, that how much the music means to them, you know. And we meet a lot of people. Sometimes I kind of forget how much the music means to other people, and then you are reminded of that by the fans.
Yes.
And sometimes it kind of blows your mind, like, you know, you write this stuff at home and you're sitting in your living room. You don't know where this music is going once it's out of your hands. Like, you have no more control after that. So it's out there. Where's that music is gonna go? That is that's the trip. And it's like, I hear everything from people fighting cancer to people flying, Marine guys flying missions in Afghanistan, listen to Soulfly and Sepultura, and you know that is just really mind blowing, man.
Yeah.
And when you hear the stories are actually really cool. The same when you hear stories about famous guys that you had an impact on them as well. Like it's to me it was so cool when like when Dave Grohl mentioned Roots, how much he loves the album Roots,
Yes.
you know, and it blew up his Foo Fighters speakers at his studio. The Roots record he had, and I was like, yes, you know, like that. Nothing can make me more proud than this.
That's right. It's fucking metal.
You know, it's you know, so it's little things like that that really make it fun and it just really worthwhile the whole journey, man. You know, because I've been on this now since I was 13.
Yeah.
So it's a whole different world now. You know, you remember with Watchtower and you know, like no internet.
Yeah.
The spirit is the same though, which I think is cool. The feeling is the same. What changes just the technology. Around. But like I'm always looking for new bands, always trying to find new music. It was super cool meeting. To me, it's super cool meeting some of these young new bands like Fugitive, like Blake. Yeah, and they're such fans of my early work. You know that you feel the respect that they have for those works. You know, it's like so influential. And that's to me, it's really cool because I tell them, yeah, but the Power Trip record have a really similar impact on me, you know, which I love, you know. So there's this exchange of influence that's really cool that happens in metal, and I think that's great, man. That's fantastic that exchange of just flattery between artists with musicians, you know.
Full circle, and it's
full circle,
full circle for sure. And it's not really going back to something you said. It's relative to where you are and where we are in this conversation. It's about emotional response. Your music and Blake's music, or whoever it is that you're having this experience with, just even like in the circle where it's this full like giant, you know, group hug or whatever, you know, that makes it have this emotional, it's tangible. It's something you can pretty much feel like you're holding in your hand. That's how real it feels, because you can get choked up about it and it blows your mind.
And that's why I don't really, to me, all this AI is all bullshit. Because I think like nothing can touch your soul or your heart. That's a unique thing that we have. They would try to imitate that, but no, I don't think they can do it. And the thing that happens when you're playing live, that's another thing that to me is very mysterious. It's like alchemy, you know?
Yeah.
We don't know exactly how we do it, but you do it on an every night basis. And there's always that one split moment during the show that I always refer to as the goosebump moment. And I try to, like, some shows you go without it, and that's okay. It's like it's part of the game, you know. But some nights you get 2 or 3, and it's like when it's off and running, and you're getting those goosebumps. It's incredible. It's a feeling that it's I don't know how it happens. I just want more, you know. I want to. I wish you could buy that in a store.
But you can't. You worked hard for that.
Right. If you could buy it in a store, everyone would have it. That's why it's so special.
It's not special if you can buy it in a store. It's not special if a robot can just make it and spit it out and put it on a shelf. I feel like you're talking about something that I tell, because I teach music to kids, And I say things like this all the time. I say, okay, today we're going to create something from nothing. This is just wood and wire. We're going to bang on some shit. We're going to thrash some guitars. We're going to turn it up loud. We're going to create something from absolutely nothing. You called it noise making earlier, the dive bombs and the pedals and the, you know, but once you get something, once you get it to work and once you get something special, that's a goosebump moment. And you can't buy that in a store. So, and you work hard to achieve that. And then once you've worked hard, I mean, I wouldn't even say rehearsals are what can help create the goosebump moment to give. You should trademark that, the goosebump moment.
It's years and years of developing these,
hard work. It's hard work. And then you don't even know when it's going to come, but when it does, you're like, oh yeah, that's it. So,
yeah.
Now, the fantastic thing about it, and to me, the coolest thing about it is that it disregard. You don't need to be in front of 40,000 people to feel that. You could be in front of 50 people.
Less.
And that can happen.
Yeah,
right?
Less.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And it's one of the things about this tour that, to me, this Go Ahead and Die tour has taught me so much about just being proud of building something from the ground up, you know, like from zero, like you say. And then just going out there. I almost feel like some of the people even I talk to, they kind of like, why are you even doing this, man? This is crazy. And they don't understand that the thing that makes me tick is this, you know?
Yeah.
And from this, I all the other stuff kind of fall into places. But to me, I think it was like necessary to reconnect with the underground, with Go Ahead and Die. It was like something that was meant to be, and in a really weird way, kind of made me fall in love with metal all over again. Like I'm like actually more into now than even before.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, because the older you get, you're supposed to be mellow, you know, more mellow out and slow down, you know. But yeah, I mean, like, I'm just really thrilled to be on the tour and be able to do all these things. And, you know, cool things happen to a lot of times with music that kind of surprise you, you know. There's going to be this really cool expedition of metal in Paris. And it's about families in metal. And we are involved with that. And I think the Gojira brothers are also involved with that.
Excellent.
So like little things like that, man, they're really cool. Gloria showed me the other day the little Sirius XM commercial they did. They used a little piece of Roots, and I was like blown away by it. It's like, oh, this is really cool. Like I don't see that stuff all the time, you know. So when you do see it, it's pretty exciting, man, you know. Apart from that, it's just like really, really thrilled to be on tour.
Roots is the perfect song for that project.
Yeah.
The song Roots is perfect for that family, you know, families in metal, you know, that entertain and families who play metal together. Roots is the perfect song. It's like meant to be. So
yeah.
I'm so sorry, man. I have another interview calling.
Yeah.
It's all right, Max.
Do your thing. Thank you for your time. Thanks for your time,
man, and congratulations. We hope you have many more goosebumps moments throughout the rest of your career. Give our best to your family. Thanks for joining us. On behalf of my co-host, Jason McMaster, I'm Metal Dave with our special guest, Max Cavalera, today on the Talk Louder podcast.
Thank you, guys.